Hello everyone. Welcome to Healing Mandolin once again. Madhugaru, namaste.
Namaste.
Praveen and thank you for coming. Over to you, Madhugaru. Please carry on.
Krishnaya Namaha. We want to invite you all into this blissful Brindavan of musical notes. I would like to request Great Sri Rajesh Garu to start with the divine prayer, and we want to enter the Brindavan of Ragas and Radha. Thank you, Praveen Garu. Thank you, Rajesh Garu. Thank you, Praveen ji. This is amazing. So, sir, I feel very fortunate that we are starting and healing mandolin in these challenging times. And not only that, we are able to touch different gods, but there is no God like Krishna. He is the very manifestation of music. He is one God who can go to a war without weapons, and he can take a flute with him and go to even war. When he is an ambassador, he is carrying flute. When he is going with gopis, he is with them, he is with flute. Everywhere he is with flute. So let's start with your favorite composition, or I don't know if I may permit, I like to have a humble request and start with praying Krishna.
I would like to start with the Ganamurti, the Ragam Ganamurti.
Beautiful, sir. Blessed. you, sir, Rajesh Garu. You know, the beauty is, I'm looking at all our listeners from the worldwide, their comments are, somebody has requested, Swati ji, she has requested Gana Murte. Thank you for all the listeners and the viewers of this great event. And sir, Gana Murte is a very special and my favorite ragam too. Krishna, as he was there, he was playing flute with immense oneness with the universe. There is one event I was remembering, sir. Once upon my Guruji and his Guruji, they both, Param Guruji lived 103 years. They both were in a town. And one day, my Param Guruji asked Guruji, meditate. He said, okay, I'm going to sit down and meditate. Both are great Siddhas. He's sitting and meditated. After he opened his eyes, Guruji asked his Guruji, what did you hear? He said, I heard nothing, but there is some function going on. I heard flute. Probably there is some wedding or something there. Somebody put a very loud noise. He said, no, there is no flute. None of us heard that flute. When you are meditating, the flute you heard is the flute of Krishna. He was shocked. Guruji was, really? When I meditated, did the flute I heard, is it a flute of Krishna? So Krishna played flute for me? Then his Guruji, Param Guruji corrected him. No. Krishna did not play the flute for you. Krishna is playing the flute in the universe all the time. The flute of Krishna is constantly in the universe. Today you are able to tune to that. It's like a radio station. The radio stations are broadcasting all the time. On which day we were able to reach that radio station and feel that. So Ganamurte, the ragam and the Ganamurte, the feel of Ganamurte takes us there and makes us go to the levels of Krishna. If humbly, sir, if you permit me, I want to show 1 minute. There is something about Ganamurti ragam.
Please.
Can I? Thank you, sir. I'll share my screen. Show something how beautiful the ragam is. I hope everyone can see the screen. On this screen, you can see the Ganamurti ragam. The Ganamurti ragam, the notes of Ganamurti ragam, if you go to internet, same one in the same sequence I have plotted on the horoscope. Sariga, 2 notes left, then Ma, 1 note left, Pada and Ni. If you notice it, Nisariga are all together. In the Ganamurti ragam, it is so beautiful. I wanted to see, so in every ragam, the prints of the God should be there. In Ganamurti ragam is exclusively for Krishna, Ganamurti the Krishna. So I was wondering, Krishna, where are you in this ragam? I meditated and I heard inner voice saying that first hold my feet. Padal patko. If you hold padas, you will catch hold of me. So I looked at pada, then we put feet at pada. Then automatically Krishna showed up. Gana Murte, if you join in a line, sir, I noticed Gana, that is the flute. Gana, and what is between is Risa, that is Rasa. Rasa, Raso Vaisaha. Everything above in the universe is Rasa. This is the Krishna. And you can see at a Ma, the Go also you can see. This is the manifestation of Krishna in the Ganamurti Ragam. It is not a coincidence that the great composers of Indian music were divine. Whatever coming from them was divine. And that is why even the Re is at Vrishabham. Vrishabha is Taurus, is exactly there. Sari is the right thing to do. Gana is there. So all the letters and alphabets, they were very much aware of what they are doing and very, very fortunate to be able to understand this humble and musical note, sir. I feel very fortunate.
Amazing, sir. I think there is, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you now.
There is a lot of requests. I can see all our friends again. Thank you for coming, Anandji, Srilata-ji, Ganamurti. They are asking to play Radha Sameta Krishna and Kaliyuga Vardhan. Kaliyuga Vardhan is on Lord Muruga, but still at the end I'll play a few lines.
Okay, sir. So beautiful, sir. Sir, in the scriptures, they say Radha is the embodiment of Krishna. How Krishna made her? I asked Guruji. He lives in Vrindavan. Guruji, what is greatness of Radha? Krishna has so many wives and devotees and so many things going on. He says, Swayameva Naika Rupam Vidhaya Samaradhana Tatparo Bhut. The one who is designed for Aradhana is Radha. Aradhana, the middle two letters is Radha. Krishna felt very lonely. Everybody has everyone else to pray and love. Why I don't have anybody? I am so lonely. There is nobody that I can fall in love with and do puja. Everyone is doing my puja. He himself is Satchitananda Swarupa. He is like Sakshat Satchitananda. His state of happiness, he is higher than even moksha. That is Krishna. Then from him, he created Radha to worship. Guruji said it is almost like an artist who painted a beautiful painting of a girl and fell in love with the painting and doesn't want to go anywhere. He's always looking at his own painting and fell in love. He created Radha and he fell in love. Then I asked, Guruji, then how do we actually get blessings of Krishna, such a great God? How do we? So Krishna is so high, Satchidananda Swarupa, you are saying, how do we get it? He said, simplicity is puja of Krishna. He gave an example. One day, husband went for a camp and he went for a few days. It's supposed to be 10 days. He finished it in 3 days. His missing wife, he came. When he came home, the door is open. Oh my God, she's always like this, never closing the door, no concern for security. What is she doing? She should keep the door locked. He stressed out, he went into the house. She's not in the front room, not in the kitchen. He looked in the bedroom, she's there. What is she doing? He looked at it and he saw wife is holding his photograph, his own photograph, and kissing and hugging. He said, oh my God, he got tears. My wife loves my photograph so much, means how much she loves me. Oh my God. He said, likewise, Krishna is peeping, looking at how are my devotees. If you are treating his photograph with love, he will be thinking, he is treating my pictures and my images with so much love. How much he loves me. So he says, try to love what are his images. He said, even the flute, today I got a couple of flutes. So my favorite, thanks, it's so beautiful. Even the flute is so hollow. One day there is a conversation between Krishna, flute, and Radha. Radha asked the flute, why Krishna is taking you everywhere? Sometimes I am not going with him, but flute, you are going with him. What is that he likes you? It's a very famous story. The flute said, I am hollow. I have nothing inside me. Whatever the Lord plays through me, I play that. So whatever we are hollow, whenever we don't keep an ego and we let the divine music play through us, then we are one with the divine. That's all.
Amazing explanation, Ji. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
I said amazing explanation. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
There
sir.
is a request to play Enna Tavam Shedana.
Beautiful.
I'll play that a little bit. And Ilango Kumanan sir, welcome again. I can see the violinist Abhijit. Brother, welcome. Babu sir, nice to see you again.
There are so many wonderful requests, sir. There is also a request for Taye Yasoda, also Sarjaji, and there is also a question for me. Can I answer that, sir?
Please, sir, please answer the question.
Okay.
Can you all hear me now? If I'm
Yes, very clearly we can hear. Yes.
Yeah.
So they asked a question: is there a connection between the flute and the chakras of the human body? So matter of fact, the assimilation is not, it is, I can say yes, by playing different notes, chakras in the body can get activated. In the Kundalini, we all know Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipuraka, Anahata, Vishuddhi, Ajna, Sahasrara chakras are there. By different notes of the music, different chakras get activated. But the representation of the flute and these things is, yes, it can activate, but the representation is not as direct as Veena. Veena is like directly representation of the spinal cord and the notes. Yes, for flute too, but it represents the nada aspect. It can activate, the very flute music can activate different nadas, and it represents the entire body. It represents the whole Navarandra Nirmita Shariram Venu Rupam. So that is the given definition, but representation we can write and mapping to anything, different representations. There is a beautiful story, sir. Can I tell a small story, sir, to explain this? Bapu Ramana Garu, everyone knows Bapu and Ramana, very famous, and Bapu Garu is a great artist, and Bapu Ramana Garu is like a great writer in Telugu language. They made Ramayanam, so many great epic movies, and there's so much literature, and they're amazing. Ramana Garu wrote a beautiful story called Kanuka. That story I'll tell in just 2 minutes, small version of it. So beautiful. So there is one day, my version and simple version. One day, there's a birthday of Krishna. All gods and everybody is giving gifts. But there is a small person called Gopanna. He's just a villager living there in Vrindavan. He wants to give Krishna a gift. He thought, what gift can I give? I am so poor. I also want to give a gift that is such a favorite of Krishna. He found flute is the best thing to give. So he said, let me make a flute and give him as a gift, but the birthday gift. So he made a flute and played. He's not happy. The flute is not playing as melodious as Krishna's flute. He made another flute. He made 100 flutes. None of them are playing like Krishna's flute. So he went to Krishna, asked, Krishna, if you don't mind, can I borrow your flute? So that he can exactly measure the flute and make the whole same bamboo, same hole, same everything. Krishna smiled. He knows what's going on. He gave his flute. Gopanna got Krishna's flute at home and he started get the best bamboo, same thing, same measurements. He made a flute, played, not as melodious as Krishna's flute. Krishna's flute, when you play, gods, animals, the entire mankind, the universe is just going into sublime consciousness and forgetting itself. That is the beauty of Krishna's flute. Whereas this flute he's making is not good. He made and made and made. He has a little son, So he was making and making and making until next day morning is Krishna's birthday. He's so tired. He made 5,000 flutes and in the flutes he just slept. He suddenly woke up. It is morning. Oh my God, son, why didn't you wake me up? I have to give the flute to Krishna and I couldn't make it. He was crying. I could not make a good flute. Then he thought, at least let me return the flute of Krishna. Where is it? The original flute which you took. Nana, there are a lot of flutes, so I kept aside. You don't know what happened. The original flute also got confused and combined with thousands of flutes there. Gopanna started crying. Not only I could not make a great flute for Krishna, but I also lost the original flute. Now I don't know which flute is Krishna's and all the flutes are looking alike. I can't show my face. He said, I don't know what to do. He picked one of the flutes and he gave to his son, go and give to Krishna. I can't show my face. The son ran. The greatness of the story Ramana Garu wrote is, son ran after a few minutes. All the flutes in the room, all the flutes started playing melodiously as if each flute is played by Krishna without anybody playing. He was shocked. Why all the flutes are playing by themselves? Then the boy came running. He asked what happened. Nana, Krishna played, but he didn't play. Krishna played there, but he didn't play. It was silent. So that is Krishna. He played there. The sound came here. It does not matter how perfect we try to do puja for God. It does not matter how many jewelry we are putting there, how many millions and crores of rupees donations you are giving there. With the sublime consciousness of devotion, if you can play this little flute and get it ready for Krishna to play, it will play. Simplicity. All flutes are Krishna's flutes, and through everybody, Krishna is playing. Thanks to Mullapudi Ramana Garu. Today, I am very fortunate, joined by Vara Mullapudi Garu. His son is listening to our show, sir. We are very fortunate, who is also a director and a musician and so many things. So we are very, very fortunate. Such great stories, thoughts and bhavas are given. And great musicians like you are bringing us the experience of Krishna. Through music, the bliss is experienced. Thank you, sir.
Thanks to you, sir. They're saying my voice volume is very low. There are a lot of requests. As I told you, this healing mandolin is about just giving the glimpses of what we think and how we can easily explain between music and give a very good explanation. But I don't know whether I can play all the requests. We are going to do a proper concert where you can come and watch like from your home. It'll be full-fledged accompanying artist, everything. So watch out for that. For now, I'll just play a few lines from each song's request. But you all can enjoy a proper concert. It's going to be soon announced, and you can sit in your homes and enjoy the concert with the full bench. Thank you.
Sir, there is a question here. The common thing between Muruga and Krishna is peacock and its feathers.
Yeah.
Also, both led war. What is the explain more about this peacock feather?
Yes, they are also relative, no? He's a nephew of Lord Muruga is nephew of Vishnu, right?
Vishnu, yes, sir. Yes. The one of the explanations in the divine consciousness is where is the peacock feather? So the peacock feather is representation of third eye. This is explanation given by Paramahamsa Yogananda also. Nemali Kannu, this represents third eye, and these colors are actual colors. If a yogi is able to reach Ajna Chakra by yoga sadhana, Ajna Chakrantaralastha Rudra Grandhi Vibedini. That's what they say in Lalita Sahasranama. Once they reach the third eye, these are the colors. Literally, they can see the chakra with some colors. It is a representation of that. Many eyes, the ability to many eyes, each eye represents the ability to see. Lord Muruga with peacock as a vahanam, his ability to be able to see the omnipresent consciousness, 5 elements, 5 faces, and the Atma, he is Shanmukha. Same way, Krishna having the third eye at the Nemali, it is representing the uniqueness. Among male animals and birds, peacock is the most beautiful. So he is the peacock. And peacock itself, Nemali, has so much significance in different religions also. In Buddhism also, it represents Tara and knowledge. In Zoroastrianism, in Jainism, in every scriptures we read in Greek mythology, you can find goddesses who are manifestations of peacock. The peacock feather is representing knowledge, uniqueness, and being different, having a majestic feeling. Sometimes I was meditating and mind was dull. Then I found a very beautiful thing. Whenever we are upset or unhappy or gloomy, if you look at a video of peacock or look at a photograph of peacock or even imagine a peacock there with Murugan, just you imagine a giant peacock present there. Suddenly you will be wondering by the beauty of it and your mind gets diverted. Just meditating on the peacock itself gives the happiness. That's what is the explanation, I feel, sir.
Amazing. So I'll play one more request.
Sir, someone asked a question, why Radha did not marry Krishna? That's an interesting question. Why Radha did not marry Krishna? The reason is they need to marry if they are two different entities. We need to understand marriage a little bit. Marriage, according to, because we are on an astro-musical journey, marriage is seventh house. A person, they walk 7 steps or they do, Sat Fere. Seventh house needs to be activated for the marriage to happen. Kalatram is 7. For that, they need to be two different entities. That's why in the marriage, they make them sit opposite each other. And also they make the boy and girl walk with, little fingers joined together because the lines of marriage are here. So they just make them join. Every ritual in Hinduism is a meaningful significance. Left hand tells what God gave us. Right hand tells how we are making it happen. We join these two to do namaskaram. We are telling God, whatever you gave, we will use it. There's a meaning behind it. If anybody's fingers are like when they open too far away, they're very independent in nature. For example, if this is above 90 degrees, the person is very independent. He won't listen to anybody. If sometimes short, they're too dependent. Balanced is 90 degrees. It is significant. Palmistry is a very significant science. When we are joining these two, we are saying that whatever God you gave in the left hand, I will make that happen. That's a mudra. 7 steps are also significant. So for marriage to happen, they need to be two different people. The thing with Radha and Krishna is they are not two different people. A person won't marry himself. In Jatakam, if Mars or something is bad, they go and make him marry some banana tree or something like that. They make them marry some trees and all that. That's funny. But nobody marries himself. Krishna cannot marry Radha because Radha is not different from Krishna. So I asked my Guruji, how do you get the blessings of Radha? He said, if you get the blessings of Radha, you can see Krishna. If you want to see Radha, you pray to Krishna. If you want to see Krishna, you pray to Radha. They're one and the same. Through one, you'll see the other. And one technique he told is constant remembrance. Constant remembrance. He asked, let us say I give you 50 lakh rupees in a suitcase. You are going by train from Delhi to Rajasthan. You are in the train, and this 50 lakhs cash is in the suitcase. How will you deal with this cash? When you enter the train, you put it under the table, but you won't be opening and checking it. You're pretending as if you're doing everything, but you're aware, all your mind, oh my God, 50 lakhs is in here, 50 lakhs. Constantly you're thinking about it. Likewise, you should be devotee of God. That is how you should be thinking about Radha Krishna. You don't have to explain to the others. You don't show off. You don't open. Yeah, I have it. Then thieves will take from you. You achieve God, keep at the heart of the hearts. Like the way you hide love letters, you don't show the world. Likewise, you hide the devotion of Radha. Krishna and Radha will be with you. Constant remembrance. Whatever you're doing, do it. But you can do puja of Krishna without a single object. Be in constant remembrance. That's all. And Srilata Muralidharan, thanks for the question about Radha, why she did not marry. Because they cannot marry because they are one and the same. Swayameva Naika Rupam Vidhaya Samaradhana Tatparo Bhut. From him, he originated, he generated her, Radha. They are one and the same. There is nothing beyond Radha. There, because in the lokas also, Bhuloka, Bhurloka, Suvarloka, Maharloka, Janoloka, Tapoloka, Satyaloka, 7 lokas. On top of seventh loka, Satyaloka, there is a loka called Goloka. In the Goloka, Radha Krishna remain. And we have 3 bodies, Karna, Stula, Sukshma. All these 3 bodies cannot access Goloka. Only a body called Bhavadeha can enter Goloka. Anybody wants it, they can Google it. Bhavadeha is also called rainbow body in Buddhism. In Tibetan monks, from Lhasa to entire Himalayas and Shambhala, they meditate their entire life to achieve rainbow body. And all the monks of Buddhism achieve rainbow body. Even in the most recent times, one of the lamas who lived in America, when he died, passed away that day, in the entire sky, there were small pieces of clouds with rainbow colors physically appeared. That's called rainbow body. And fortunately, Radhika Prasad Maharaj, who is my Guruji in Vrindavan, lived 103 years. He achieved Bhavadeha while living. To tell his stories we need 2 hours. But he achieved Bhavadeha. He used to live life here, and with Bhavadeha, he was doing tapas. He was doing tapas with Bhavadeha, getting results on this body. That's awesome.
Amazing explanation. Thank you, Madhugaru.
Thank you, sir.
Such a revealing for us, amazing unknown facts. Thank you. I'll play 2 more requests.
Sir. amazing, sir. Able to feel Krishna in every kirtan, every note, sir. In this world, can we believe, sir, there is a temple for music instruments people might not have heard. In Brindavan is the only place there is a temple for flute. Flute is born as a Krishna devotee, Harivamshaji. And in that temple, people don't go and break coconuts and all that. Musicians go there to the temple of the flute. Everyone sings and plays instruments with love and tears. As prasadam, they give mitti, the sand of Brindavan, as prasadam. That is the only temple. And sir, you are also playing, Mother Yashoda's songs, few of them. I want to say a couple of words. There is a devotee of Krishna in Brindavan. She was so blessed. Even now, her house is there. She could see Krishna and Radha as little children playing with her every day. One day, Krishna came running. There is a cat. See, God tests everybody. We get difficulties in life. We are all, the whole universe is tested by COVID. We are tested by temptations to go out versus COVID. So we have to decide between these two. It's a test. So Krishna came running. Amma, there is a cat. She was very busy. She is a great devotee of Krishna. She was busy cooking something and making prasadam for him. She said, what are you talking? What nonsense are you talking? You are Lord of the universe. The whole Bhuvanam is yours. You are that great person. Why you are afraid of a cat? Just forget about it. Then she finished cooking and went and came and saw the children are not there. Radha and Krishna are not there. She went looking in the neighborhood. She could not find Radha Krishna. She cried, Krishna, what happened? What happened? Then one Mahatma came to her house and told her, Amma, you are treating Krishna as like a mother and they are your children. That is easiest. And Krishna surrendered to you. Suddenly you said he is the Lord of the universe. He's telling, okay, now reach me at the Lord of the universe level. It will take incarnations. So you lost the opportunity. She realized it. She took many years of devotion, crying and sadhana again. Then finally in Radha Krishna appeared. The moral of it's a real story in Vrindavan. Vrindavan is such a miraculous place. Devahar Baba lived for 300, 400 years. President of India mentioned, my grandfather used to visit. They mentioned hundreds of years he lived. And Indira Gandhi went there and Devahar Baba blessed her with his feet. He was always living on the banks of Vrindavan. Such is the beauty of devotion of Krishna. Sir.
Amazing, sir.
Thank you.
I'll play 2 more requests.
Sure. wonderful, sir. Really a blissful day. Thank you, Vidyaji, Mangeshji, and Srilataji. So many questions and so many beautiful questions. There is a question, is Bhakti Margam best way to realize Krishna? It's a question by Srilata Muralidharanji. Navavida Bhakti, there are 9 types of devotions. All highways go to Krishna or God, the universal God. He is one and the most blissful one. One day, in these special times, anybody can listen to Krishna's songs and music. It is a very healing, it is very powerful. Long ago, one day I went to a temple in Guntur, a small town. It's an orphanage home downstairs and Puja Mandir upstairs temple. I went, they came and they said that, okay, please take Madhu Babaji upstairs. I'm bringing the key because Radha and Krishna you can see, but there is still a mesh and they put a lock there. So I went, the little kid came holding my hand and took me upstairs. So I looked at Krishna, and while they bring the key, I was looking at Krishna. I can see the Krishna behind the mesh and Radha. I was shocked to see Krishna had a watch. That's the first time in a temple, a statue has a proper watch. I said, why the hell Lord Krishna requires a watch? I was mesmerized by it. This is first time I'm seeing Krishna with a watch. I looked at the boy. Then I remembered in Bhagavad Gita, Kalosmiham, I am time. I am the good time. I'm controlling the time. I am the time. Kalosmiham. What? He is wearing, he is watching us. He is having a watch. And I was mesmerized. I told the little kid, oh my God. I exclaimed loud, oh, Krishna has a watch. The boy said, the watch is not working. Is it? And by then they came and opened. Then I must give my watch. I had a very gold and shiny, beautiful watch from Dubai in those days. Looking very flashy. Wait, I want to give this to Krishna. They said, okay, sir, can you please put my watch to Krishna? And they said, okay. And immediately they put it. Then I was looking at the little boy. He said, that's a good thing. I asked the boy, I understood that day Krishna is playing with me. He wanted to take my watch. I gave it. He's in a mood to take. I wanted to keep giving because when will you find? I asked the boy, I had a bracelet also. Again, Dubai flashing gold, Can I give the bracelet also? You know what the little boy said, sir? Krishna has many of those. We don't want the bracelet. He just wanted a watch. That's all. I was so beautiful. What will you do with the damn gold? Just throw away the gold. He just wants to watch the time. Time is his golden time. So it's blissful. Krishna has a very subtle way of communicating with devotees. He's not usual. He's not like any other gods. That's why Krishnam Vande Jagatgurum. He's one of the universal masters. He teaches very subtly. He plays very subtle. His ways are subtle. Adaram, Madhuram, Madhurati Bhaje. Adaram, Madhuram. He's Madhuram. He's sweet at every step. Sir, please.
Thank you, Madhu Garu. Thank you. Such a pleasure, and we are blessed to hear all these wonderful stories about Lord Krishna. Thank you once again. I think we have time for one more song, and we're going to finish this. Once again, thank you all for coming and watching us and being part of this wonderful journey, Mandolin Healing Mandolin. As I told you, we're going to have proper concerts where you can come, watch the whole concert with our all the other great musicians. This is just a teaser for you. Please come join and enjoy the concerts, online concerts we're going to do. Thank you once again. See you all next week. And for now, I'll play one or two requests and then we'll end this. Thank you very much. Thank you, Madhu Garu. Thank you, Nandaji and Praveen. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I want to thank Vamsi Prakhya for suggesting and working with me to finalize the name Swaravana Vihari. It is very difficult to come up with a name for Krishna, not an easy thing. Thank you, Vamsi Prakhya. Sir, please. Waiting for the blissful music. Krishna Arpanam.